Hey guys, welcome to this video, and here we're going to create a to-do app using Vue.js, Firebase, vue-router, and Firebase, Firestore. So let's get started right away. We're going to create a new application, new project. I'm going to do it with a Vue CLI. So I'm going to do Vue create practice 10. You can create any folder name you like, of course, and we're going to go with Vue3, and we're going to install vue-router separately, so we'll do that later on in the tutorial. And I'll wait for this to finish installing the base of Vue.js of Vue3, and I'll be back. Okay, now we're back. We have Vue3 installed, so we're going to go ahead and cd into the project, Vue app number 10. And we're going to go ahead and run the app, doing npm run serve. Wait for that to load up. And control click this. And here we have our little application. And then we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to install Firebase. Firebase npm install. Just have to copy npm install save Firebase. If we don't do this later on when we create our database using Firestore, we can't actually connect it with the database with our Vue3 application, so we have to install Firebase separately. And then we're also going to install vue-router. npm install, I think vue-router we're going to install with Vue CLI. Because Vue CLI is loaded into, integrates with our live application, so that's good. We can see live changes as we make them. And we just have to do vue add router here. And we're going to proceed. And we're also going to use history mode when it asks us if we want to use history mode. So use history mode. We're gonna use yes because we don't want the hashtags in our URL at the top. Makes it look cleaner. So install that. Then we have a vue-router here, index, and I'm going to exit out of these terminal running the application. We're going to rerun it so it uses the vue-router that we just installed. So we're going to do npm run serve again. Go to this link. And we have our home and our about page. So now we're going to go ahead and go to Firebase console. So we're going to go to Firebase console and I'm going to make that big. Go to console here, add a new project, and then we're going to do Vue3 to do practice 10. I think our application was practice 10, so we're going to do that. Continue, select an account, create a project. And wait for that to finish creating a project. Good thing about Firebase is that you can create multiple different projects and they all have separate accounts. So even if I make one Vue.js application that's open to the public, for example, I make my to-do app live and someone hacks into it and creates a lot of database requests, read or write requests, it's confined to that singular Firestore database on each project by project, so separately, so you don't have to fear too much about making projects open to the public for people to kind of play around with. That's good. So we're going to go to Firestore database and we're going to create a database, start in test mode, And we're going to go with US Central since that's where I'm closest to. Wait for that to all finish up. And under rules, we're going to, so it's all good. So it's going to be true, allowed for read and write if the timestamp is before this date. So we're all good with the rules. And after that date, if I still want to use it, I just have to go back in and change it to all true and true. Something will be made false. Well, this part will be false, so we just have to either extend this or just change this to if true and get rid of the request time below. So that's how you edit the rules. We don't have to go into too much detail with that since it doesn't matter too much in this project. So we're going to go with Firebase, and we're going to leave that there. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new component in our router. So we're going to go here, and instead of home, this is going to be the name of this root is going to be new task form and tasks list. I usually like creating long form names. Not sure what other people's preferences are, but I usually kind of create long form ones just to be descriptive. I'm pretty sure other people usually go with the short names, but this is just my preference. So new task form and tasks list. That's going to be our component that we're going to use, and we have to actually import this component. So we're going to delete this. We don't need that. We're going to do import this from, and it's going to be in the components folder. So we're going to see move up one directory and then components and this .vue. That looks good. And if we go back, this component is not created, so let's go ahead and create this component. So in our component folder, we're going to create a new component, this .vue, and I'm going to use a vue.js snippet. This extension is, if we go to extensions, I think it's Vue VS Code snippets, and if I go down here, it's vBase. So this is like the React snippet for VS Code and React projects, but this is for Vue.js, this extension, so you can install that extension if you want to use it. I don't really use the extensions too much, but I just like using vBase just for the singular one. It's like using Emmet just for that. Takes out the burden of, it makes it less monotonous creating a new project new template file each time. So I'm going to go back, actually I'm going to go back to root index, and I'm going to go to app.vue, and here we want to clean this up a bit, so we're going to actually get rid of the nav. We don't need that, and we're going to create a container div called app container, and in here we're going to just pop in the router view. And another thing we're going to do is we're going to install Bootstrap, so we're going to go to Bootstrap CDN, copy this, the HTML one, so it's copy to text clipboard, and then I'm going to go to public index.html. This is going to apply to the entire app since it's the index.html home file, index file. So we're going to go here, and I'm just going to add it at the top in the head section. Bootstrap CDN. There you go. So Bootstrap is added in here, and then we can go back to our index.js file and actually our app.vue app.js file, and we're going to delete all this since we don't need this styling. And then we're going to, let's see, we have the styling is all gone, and then we're going to add in row.js justify content center, and then margin top 3. See if that works. Yep, works. And then we're going to put this in a medium-sized column. So we're going to do a class call medium. So medium screen size and larger, it'll apply this column setting from Bootstrap. And column 8. So it's a grid 12 column layout. So there's 12 columns. There's going to be 4 columns. If I go to Bootstrap border, I do class border here. I think if I do that to here, it creates a it creates this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 columns. So there's 2 columns here, 1, 2, 2 columns here, and then there's 8 columns in the middle here. So it's centered. That's where the justify content center comes in, and then there's also a margin top at the top here. So there's a little bit of space. So that's basically how that's supposed to look like. And then we're going to go to new task form. This component here, and then we're going to go to class, give it a class name of new task form and tasks list. And then here we're going to go and we're also going to be using Vue3 composition API in this tutorial, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to go here, we're going to create a new component called new task form. It's going to be on top, and then on the bottom it's going to be the component tasks list. And then we're going to, I'm not using SAS, so I'm going to get rid of that. And export, name of the app is going to be app, and components that's going to be used is new task form and tasks list. So let's go ahead and import those components. We haven't created them yet, but we will in a second, the next step. So you're going to do import new task form from components, new task form dot view, then import tasks list from same area, so same components / tasks list dot view. Let's create both of these. So I'm going to create a new component called new task form dot view, and create a new component called tasks list dot view. And we're going to get rid of this hello world one since we don't need that. Delete that out of there. So vbase, we're in the task list dot view, we're going to do vbase. Don't need that. And here we're just going to create page 2 list of tasks goes here, and new task form, and also do vbase. Put that down. This is just the way that I like it formatted. Uses less space, more efficient in space real estate or screen real estate. And then we're going to do create new task. Okay, that looks like it's gonna work, so we're going to make sure that we're going to use it here. And so new tasks form, tasks list. Is it because I didn't export it? I'm not sure what that's not working. Let's see. inspect console. Oh, this is the about page. I think that's why. There you go. Create new task. List of tasks goes here. Perfect. So now we're going to create a form for the new tasks. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the new task form, new task form file, and we're going to we have to create a Firebase file so that we can actually use Firestore. If we go to Firestore, it's an empty database, so we want to be able to fill that up. So we're going to go to new task form, Firebase. So we're going to create a new file called Firebase.js. And then here we're going to go to settings, project settings. Then at the bottom, we don't have any apps, so let's create an app. Vue3 to do practice 10. Register app and wait for that to all fill up. Go to console, and now we're going to copy and paste this down here, and we're going to change that to const initialize Firebase, and I'm just going to check what I had before. So const Firebase add is equal to Firebase initialize .config. I'm just going to get rid of the semicolons and make sure toggle word wrap is installed. I'm not sure if I have word wrap by default on. It controls how many lines. So I want that on because I just reinstalled VS Code because it was giving me trouble with the PowerShell and Git Bash command terminals not working, so I had to reinstall VS Code. And I was doing some things with tinkering on with VS Code, so I had to reinstall it a bit because it had some bugs. Anyways, we're going to go back here and we're going to export this to const database is equal to Firebase app.firestore. Get rid of this. And at the top, we have to import Firebase. So remember we installed Firebase using npm before. With npm install save Firebase terminal command. So so it's already installed, and now we're gonna do import Firebase from Firebase. Perfect. Now we can go back, and if we refresh the page, I don't think there should be any errors. Good, no errors. And in the new task form, we're going to do composition API here from Vue3. So we're going to do setup, and we're also going to create a form here. So form, and instead of action, we're going to do on submit, prevent it from reloading the page. So that's how you do that, shorthanded. Then we're going to run a Vue3 function called create new task. And let's go ahead and create that down here. Actually, let's just create this form first in HTML. So in this form, we're going to create a label for new task description, and we're also gonna use label this task description, and then we're going to put this in a form group for Bootstrap to format this. Just copy and paste that and put that inside here. And input of form control, type text, class form control, and then we're going to do a placeholder of add new task description here, and we're going to make it required, so the HTML automatically checks whether it's empty or not, which is pretty sufficient, which is pretty good, because before, several years ago, we had to code that in manually with JavaScript every single time. Now HTML handles that for us, so that's pretty good automation. And then we're going to do vModel, and we're going to link this with a Vue3 variable called new task, where object is new, the object is new task, and then the description object property of description under new inside new task object. Now we're going to go ahead and create a submit button. Create and type submit and class button success for formatting, and it's going to be green, I think. And we have to actually create the variables, otherwise it's not going to run. Type error description undefined, so let's create the so this description, where is it? New description. This part is not working because we haven't defined it yet, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to import a few things from Vue.js. I'm going to import reactive. This allows us to create reactive Firebase variables that we can update and change and bind with the Vue.js code. So we're going to do from Vue, and then also import the database Firestore. So that's db from Firebase, which is right here. We exported it as db. Then in setup, we're going to say const new task is equal to reactive. Then creation time is going to be null. We're going to update this. We're going to snapshot the creation time with a timestamp later on when we're updating, when we're sending the new task details to the Firestore database. We're going to do description is empty initially, and then completed is also false initially. Great, now we have that constant. We're also going to create another constant called tasks collection. It's going to be database db.collection, and then we're going to create a collection document called tasks, or a collection called tasks, and inside that we're going to have documents containing the individual task details for each individual task. So we're going to do const create new task. So we have the this function here. We're going to create that. So it's going to be a arrow function tasks collection dot add, and it's going to be everything we already have in the new task information. So all this data and if the task description is updated here, it's going to be binded with the vModel, so it's going to update this automatically, so that's going to be included here. Then we're going to add in creation time, the timestamp we mentioned earlier just now, and then we're going to be date now. And then after we do that, we're going to, in this same function, we're going to do new task. We're going to set the description detail portion back to empty, so that the form can be reset, so the next task can be typed in. And then we have, this is a composition API. We're going to return everything in a new task, in a new return function or object, and we're going to do pass in all the functions and variables that we created in vue.js in the setup area, in the composition area right before. So we're going to make sure that this works. So testing if Firestore DB is working. So let's create that. If we go to Firebase console, view practice 10, and yeah, let's go to this one, Firestore, and we have one here, testing Firestore DB is working, completed is false, and creation time is in a Unix timestamp. Okay, so that's how we have the initial setup going. I'm going to next work on the displaying the tasks from the database to the actual page, and we'll move on to the next tutorial, the next video. The source code for, if you want to follow along the tutorials for free, everything that I do is inside the videos, so there's nothing left out. If you watch the tutorial videos, everything will be listed in here, done in here. But if you want to pay for the source code, so you can just watch and copy and paste from GitHub, then you can follow the code along on Patreon. Is $5 per month USD, so that's that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.